All right, all right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is February 2025. Welcome to Sports Talk on the Family Station, Love 101 FM. The name is Kathya, and of course, I will be your host for the next hour, and we're going to be talking about sports, and more sports. Yeah, I'm so excited to be with you guys once again on Sports Talk. Of course, you guys know, and having heard feedback, you're very excited about sports, and I'm like, yes, I'm so excited, and I can't wait to share my excitement. Of course, lots happening in the sporting arena. I know currently the Youngster Goldsmith Classic is going on at the National Stadium. That's as relates to track and field. Of course, this is one of the qualifier events for the ESSA Boys and Girls Championships. Also going on, yesterday, West Indies women, they literally thrashed Bangladesh in the last game of the T20. Then we also had our Sunshine Girls last week closing out that Margaret Beckford series against South Africa. And of course, we'll talk about that. Of course, there's lots happening in the local football in the Jamaica Premier League, and of course in the English Premier League, and we'll get to that shortly, as well as we had Champions League play last week, so we'll give you the results, and then I think the draw has already been done, so we'll give you also the upcoming games for that, as well as everything else that is happening sports wise. Of course, I know tomorrow, as we're to track and field, is the New Balance indoor track meet, and that will see some of the superstars. I know one Noah Lyles and one Julian Alfred are set to make their 2025 debut at this New Balance indoor track meet. And of course, the track and field season for the seniors usually begins with the indoor season, and the way they compete over 60 meters, 400 meters, so on and so forth. And of course, they will transition to outdoor. Of course, this is a long track and field season, as the World Championships they will come up in Tokyo in September, so it's a little while. It will be a long season, and it will be very interesting to see how the athletes keep fit and how the coaches keep the athletes fit. Not only that, but it will also be interesting to see how it is that we are able to peak the athletes, or the different coaches are able to peak the athletes for the national championships, and then for them to maintain that peak heading into what September is usually when most of the athletes usually go on vacation. Early September is usually when that happens. So it would be good to see, or it's going to be interesting to see how their bodies kind of transition to going to a longer season this year. Also had the AFC NFC championships in the NFL, and of course we're coming with a very special, I want to call it very special, Super Bowl pre-show next week, Saturday. So you want to look out for that, as it will be very interesting to see the thoughts. It will be the Eagles versus the Chiefs again. Yeah, that's so we'll talk about how both those teams got to the Super Bowl championships. Yeah. So as I said, lots and lots of sports happening, and I'm of course able to keep you up to date. There is basketball. I was up watching some basketball last night. Somebody asked me the other day if I do anything outside of watching sports, and no. I barely do anything outside of watching sports. If you get to spend some time around me, you'd understand that sports takes up a lot of my time. Because it's my hobby, and I want to keep updated and I want to keep informed so I can keep you informed of what's happening. So during my spare time, I watch sports. Lord. All right, so let's get right into it as it relates to what's happening in the sports world. All right. So English Premier League. We start there, of course, as usual. This is now round 24 in the English Premier League. This morning, Nottingham Forest crashed Brighton 7-love. Southampton, they were 2-1 winners over Ipswich. Everton, they were 4-love winners over Leicester. Fulham, they were 2-1 winners over Newcastle. Liverpool defeated Bournemouth 2-love, and it's 38 minutes so far between Aston Villa and Wolves, with Wolves leading Aston Villa 1-love. Tomorrow's game will see Manchester United facing Crystal Palace. That's a 9:00 kickoff Jamaica time, and then 9:00 kickoff as well. Brentford will play Tottenham, and at 11:30 we'll have Arsenal facing Manchester City. And then we have a London derby on Monday, where Chelsea will play West Ham, and closing out, there will be, so if you've been watching the English Premier League, you know that Liverpool still has a game in hand, and so that game in hand will be played. This is not this week, but next week, which is the 12th of February. So week after next week, the 12th of February. So by the time we get to round 25, which begins on February 14, all the teams now would have played the equal amount of matches. Yeah. So we will see what will happen at that time. So let's take a look now on where the standings are as it relates to the English Premier League. Liverpool, they're still out in front, and not looking as if they're turning back. They're not looking as if they're gonna not win this season, and we'll take that. They've won in recent times, so we'll take Liverpool winning again. Just can't take the other team, right? Arsenal, they're in second on 47 points, same as Nottingham Forest on 47 points as well, with Arsenal having a better goal difference. Manchester City, they've found back their winning ways. They're in fourth on 41 points. Newcastle, they're in fifth on 41 points as well. Of course, Manchester City having a better goal difference than Newcastle. All right, let's look at what's going on at the relegation side of the table. Leicester City, they're in 18th place on 17 points. Ipswich, they're in 19th place on 16 points. And Southampton, they seem to be going down. They're just, after 24 games, just about 9 points, and they've conceded 54 goals and only scoring 18. So it's been tough going for some Southampton, and they seem to be on the way out. I mean, it's still quite interesting because Wolves are in 17th place on 19 points. So between Wolves, Leicester, Ipswich, we'll watch those teams. And even Tottenham could find themselves in some problems, but we'll see how that will unfold in the coming weeks. So as much as we're watching the top of the table, which I think the fat lady is beginning to, you know, I said, was it last week or the week before? I think the fat lady has beginning to hum. I think somehow she's beginning to say some words as it relates to Southampton being relegated, but not only that, maybe a few words in between, you know, trying to learn the song as it relates to Liverpool being at the top of the table. All right, so we switch quickly now to what's happening in the Jamaica Premier League. Of course, I told you that the Jamaica Premier League now has in the week games. So it's very interesting, you know. It is very interesting when in the week games are played. You know, that tells you kind of, you know, where the league is going in terms of getting persons out, so on and so forth. So yeah, let's get to that, which would have been round, don't want to misquote you, tell you, but it should have been coming into round 20. So I'll give you the results of round 20 and round 21, and then the games to come, and then I'll give you the point standing. So in round 20, and these games would have been played last Sunday. Racing, they defeated Vere 3-Love. Harbourview defeated Dunbeholden 4-1. Portmore and Montego Bay, they played to a 0-0 draw. Mount Pleasant defeated Tivoli Gardens 1-0. Chapelton Maroons, they defeated Waterhouse 3-0. Cavalier and Arnett played to a 2-2 draw. And in the Monday night game, which closed out round 20 in the Jamaica Premier League, Malines United defeated Humber Lion 2-1. All right, round 21. Those games played Wednesday. Yes. Dunbeholden, they were 3-1 winners over Chapelton Maroons. Racing United, they were 1-0 winners over Harbourview. Montego Bay defeated Waterhouse 3-1. Malines and Portmore played to a 0-0 draw. Mount Pleasant, they defeated Vere 4-1. Cavalier Tivoli Gardens played to a 0-0 draw, while Arnett Gardens, they defeated Humber Lion 5-1. And then the games for match round 22, which will come up tomorrow, we'll see Harbourview playing Mount Pleasant, Dunbeholden playing Montego Bay, Portmore United played Humber Lion, and Chapelton Maroons playing Racing United. All right, as it relates to the point standings now, Mount Pleasant, they're out in front, having played 22 games now. They're 53 points in first place. Second, Montego Bay United on 44. Third, Arnett Gardens on 42. Portmore United, they're in fourth on 35. Cavalier, defending champions, they're in fifth on 34. And they're ahead of Waterhouse with a better goal difference. Waterhouse, they're in sixth on 34. And then at the bottom of the table, it's Humber Lion. They're on 14th. They're in 14th place on 14 points, and Harbourview, they're in 13th place on 16 points. But it's still close going for the relegation zone, because they're just ahead relegation right now on 17 points, and just above them is Dunbeholden. So it will be interesting coming to the end of the season, coming to the business end of the season in the Jamaica Premier League, which two teams will go down. And of course, as it relates to the playoffs, it's usually the top 6 teams that will progress to the playoffs in the Jamaica Premier League. Of course, the games for the Reggae Boys that's coming up, Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago, 2 games, February 6, February 9. And after the break, we will talk about the squad. And then later on, we'll hear from Coach McCarron. We'll hear the press conference that took place with the naming of the squad. All right, we'll be right back on SportsTalk.
In the morning, and love, 101. So come get inspired with you, called love in the morning, and love, 101. So come get inspired with you, called turn the radios up, make sure. Get your inspiration for the day. Sunday morning.
It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me, Nadine Blair, weekdays, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express, your mid-morning sanctuary on Love 101. We'll take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul, with thoughtful words to uplift your spirit, programs and features for growth and upliftment. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101.
Morning Express. Morning Express. Oh, yeah.
That's right, it's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, every Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. Listen up, children, this is our time, and every day we want you in on the great things we are doing inside the Small People Show. We come to have fun, we come to help you through those rough days. We're educational, inspirational, and the Small People Show with Auntie Vashti is taking over the nation. Every child must know that they are special because God created you special. That's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti. Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. It's on the family station, Love 101.
With inspiration now, and every turn you small people.
Alright. Put a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving of their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at Vibe. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station, Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shuboti and them figure he provide everything on vibe before we try. Shuboti and them figure he alone make we happy when we did so.
All right. Welcome back to SportsTalk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And the name is Kathya, and we are continuing with sports. Of course, I said we will hear the press conference from the JFF. It will come right about 1:45. We'll listen to that press conference that announced the team, the Jamaica team that will face Trinidad and Tobago. So you want to listen out for that. Right. So we're going to move quickly into what happened in the UEFA Champions League last week, which was Very interesting. I mean, the Champions League become interesting as when you don't have a team involved. You see when your team is taking part in the Champions League, you're like at the edge of your seat trying to figure out what's gonna happen, and especially with this new format in the Champions League, which, to be honest with you, I am not. I mean, I'm okay, but I don't think I'm fully like okay. I'm still figuring out, how is this gonna work and all of that. So it's very still very interesting to me, still very new to all of us, and seeing how this will work. But we're gonna look back on the results from last week, and then we'll talk about the other things. Yeah, so let's just take out the interesting results. Would I say interesting results? Barcelona and Atlanta, they played to a 2-2 draw on Wednesday. Manchester City, they were 3-1 winners over Club Brugge. What was any other interesting results? Aston Villa defeated Celtic 4-2. Yeah. Arsenal, yeah, they were 2-1 winners over Girona. Bayern Leverkusen, they won. Borussia Dortmund, they won over Shakhtar Donetsk. Bayern Munich, they won as well. So, yeah. Let's see what's happening now with the table. And of course, how it works is that the top 8 teams will qualify for the next round, while the teams between place 9 and 24, they will play for they would do a playoffs, and I think it would be the top 16 after that. So Liverpool, they're currently atop the table. Barcelona in second, Arsenal in third, Inter in fourth, Atletico Madrid in fifth, and Bayern Leverkusen in sixth. Aston Villa is in eighth. So that's really how that goes. And then, of course, you have the other teams. Manchester City, they're still in a playoff spot. So that's really what's going on. And then, of course, they will get to I do believe, one second, I'll be able to tell you in just a moment, because I do believe the next round has been chosen. Let's see here, but yeah. Right, here we go, because I'm sure this happened. All right, so February 11, I think the game of that round will be Manchester City versus Real Madrid. That comes up on February 11, and it will be very interesting, very, very interesting. I know a lot of Manchester City fans and a lot of Manchester City fans and Real Madrid fans looking forward. Some people saying now that Coach Pep has got rid of all of his problems. I don't view it as a problem, but I guess it was a problem, a setback. He's now back to winning ways, so we'll see how that will, transpire with what's happening with Real Madrid. Yeah. Interesting stuff happening over there in Europe. All right, we're gonna skip a beat now. We're gonna head over to some cricket. Of course, lovely cricket, and we're talking about the West Indies women and their fantastic performance against Bangladesh in this 3 T20 series. And of course, the West Indies women, they are at home, and they've won now the 3 T20 games in this series. The first game they played, this was on, first game was on Monday. So they played Monday, Wednesday, and yesterday. So 3 games back to back. West Indies, the first game they made, or I think it was Bangladesh that they scored first with 144 for 3. In reply, West Indies made 145 for 2. In Wednesday's game, which is a very high scoring game, West Indies made 201 for 6, which I think it's the second highest T20 total by this West Indies group. They made 201 for 6, and then they bundled out literally Bangladesh women fourth, 95-9. And then last night, Bangladesh, they were sent in to bat first. They made 104 for 8, and West Indies, in reply, West Indies women, this is, made 105 for 5. So, yeah. So, our West Indies women, 3-love winners over Bangladesh. And of course, great performance all around by the team. Performance that stands out in my head now is the performance of Deandra Dottin. I mean, I'm very happy. She is now 3,000 runs in women's T20, which she is the second West Indian woman to reach that number, so which is good. She would have made 49 of 20 balls, and having watched the games, I was like, Deandra really doesn't look to score any boundaries. Everything that she hit has to be a 6. I just have a feeling that that's how she operates. But yes, so we also had Kiana Joseph making, well, this was the Thursday, Wednesday game. Kiana Joseph, she made 63 of 36, and right, that was that in making 49 of 20. That was in Wednesday's game. So yeah, it was a good win for our West Indies women, and of course they will go ahead and push up in that T20 standing. So it was a good all-round performance by our West Indies women, and we're looking forward to the results before. I was speaking of Deandra Dottin, and we talk about the fastest 50s to be made by a West Indies women in the World T20s or in Women T20s. Deandra currently dominates the first 3 spots. She's made 50 of 21, 50 of 22, and 50 of 25. She is a very special talent as it relates to T20. And of course, our bowlers, they did well. They did pretty well. And it was good to see some of the new names in the squad as well doing their thing. Janella Glasgow is one of them that jumps out at me as well. So good, as I said, a good performance by our West Indies women. Definitely cannot say the same. I was about to say, definitely cannot say the same for West Indies men, but yeah, you guys know how I feel about them. You guys know how I feel about them, but you know what? I'm not going to badmouth them. I'm just gonna say I'm looking for more consistency as it relates to both men and women, but I think the women have been much more consistent than the men. Also happening in terms of the cricket world before we jump to another break is the regional 4-day tournament. Regional 4-day tournament, and of course this tournament just began. West Leeward Islands Academy, let me just go to what's going on for the Jamaicans, right? Let's go to the scores in that match. It's okay. Windward Islands Volcanoes is currently playing the Jamaica Scorpions. I'm not even, right. Jamaica Scorpions, Leeward Islands Volcanoes. Leeward Islands Volcanoes, they made 195 all out on their first innings, and then they made 238 for 8. In replying, the Jamaica Scorpions, they made 337 for all out, and then 277 for 7 in their second innings, which means to me that the Jamaica Scorpions are having, well, it's the second innings now, so we'll see if they're able to pull off the win in this game. Of course, the Jamaica Scorpions to me are like the West Indies men. They play the same way. You can't put your pot on fire for them at all at all at all. But when we come back, we'll be talking about some netball, and of course, we'll be talking about some NFL. So stay with us. We'll be right back here on the Family Station, Love 101.
Recycling partners of Jamaica. Yeah, we got to make a change. And we have to do it now, can't wait for later. We put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the gullies and in the drains. Recycling partners of Jamaica. We put plastic in its place. And I say no matter how your class or status or title, got to be responsible and recycle. Yes, we have talk about plastic buckle boat. You have to make sure say that the right title. So look for the triangle with the one or two. But that don't matter could I yellow or blue. You have to just make sure them empty, collect them plenty, recycle in revenue. So listen up, Jamaica, I'm saying it's time to make a change. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place, and we all can agree that will be safer than in the colors in every paint. Recycling partners of Jamaica, we put plastic in its place.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the Family Station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. Here I am, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving of their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at Vibe. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the Family Station. Love 101.
Youth Connection. True body and them figure. He provide everything on guide before we try. True body and them figure. Give alone the be when we did chat. True body. Love in the morning. Love 101. So come get inspired with two Kathya. Love in the morning. Love 101. So come get inspired with two Kathya. Turn the radios up. Make sure.
It's time to fill your cup with a blend of hope and inspiration. Join me, Nadine Blair, weekdays, Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express, your mid-morning sanctuary on Love 101. We'll take you through carefully chosen music to soothe your soul, with thoughtful words to uplift your spirit, programs and features for growth and upliftment. Tune in and be encouraged. Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for Morning Express with Nadine Blair, right here on your family station, Love 101.
Morning Express. Morning Express. Oh, yeah.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. All right, so we kick things off in this segment with some netball. Jamaica, well, as at sports talk time last week, Jamaica would have been leading 2-0 in the series versus South Africa, and they were able to close out that series 58-47 against South Africa to be the series winner. The Margaret, of course, closing out the series because they would have already won the series early on last week. And so they close out the series 3-0, 47-58 victors over South Africa. And of course, Shimona Jock, no surprise there, being named player of the tournament after such a real fantastic performance. And I just want to highlight from the series the support that the Sunshine Girls got throughout the series from the fans. I think that needs to be highlighted because trust me, the decibels were up. The decibel level was up in the National Indoor Sports Center, and we're just hoping that as the Sunshine Girls continue, they will get more games against the top teams, because yes, we play the Caribbean teams, but we play the Caribbean teams. However, it's not enough because it doesn't help us to advance. Wow, right. It doesn't help us to advance up the standings. If we want to increase our standing points, we have to play the teams who are higher than us. And I'm hoping that the Netball Jamaica will be able to organize, so we at least will be able to play. Now we've played England and South Africa, which is top 4. So now we are looking to play, hoping that we'll be able to organize games against Australia and, of course, against New Zealand, and get series games in for that as well, so we're able to improve the standards. Because that's something that we've suffered from over the years, is that we've been kind of stuck at third, not because we're not the best team in the world at the time, but the other teams are able to organize themselves in terms of playing against each other. And so that helps them to increase their standings. Because, of course, world standings as relates to team sports are based on how many games you win, who it is that you played. If you played a higher ranked team than you, of course, it means that you'll pick up more points and will be able to, jump ahead of them. But yes, great performance, fantastic performance from our Sunshine Girls. And we can even go out to say the Sunshine Girls are probably, if not the most dominant sporting team in terms of consistent sporting team. They've not gone below number 4 in the world since we went on those rankings. I think we've probably done 3. I think at one point we had a chance to go number 2, but that didn't materialize. But I'm hoping that right now, with us having so many players playing in the Suncorp League, we will have a better chance at progressing up the standings and getting favorable draws when we get to the World Cups, when we get to the other championships, because that's really what the rankings help us to get favorable draws. So we have the smaller teams to play throughout the tournaments and until we get to the business end. Obviously, if you're number 1, then you may get the number 3 or 4 seed team, which could be a strong team, but I'm just saying, the rankings help with that. Of course, I couldn't come and talk about Sunshine Girls without even mentioning that we continue to pray for Captain Janelle Fowler Nemhard as she goes through the situation she's going through now. We pray that she will recover well from this and that she'll still be able to, get all the help she needs mentally, physically, spiritually. She'll get all the help she needs so that she can return to the court as soon as she's ready to do so. So, yes, congratulations to the Sunshine Girls. Fantastic performance against South Africa following on the back of the series win against England. So it's a good start to 2025 for our Sunshine Girls, and we hope that they keep with this momentum. Yes. All right. So we skip again. Yes. So you see, we're skipping sports. So much. Of course, last week I would have mentioned the AFC NFC championships for the NFL, and I just want to say, let's just talk about it a little bit. I mean, I will just give it a little bit of the time. The playoffs, first one was the NFC championships, which saw the Commanders versus the Eagles. And boy, did the Eagles just dominate that game. It really was a dominant, very, very dominant performance by the Eagles, winning 55-23. Yeah, man, 55-23 for the Eagles to advance to the Super Bowl. And then in the later game, which a person saw as maybe the bigger game of the two, it would have been the most interesting. Let's just say that. Bills versus Chiefs. And I think maybe 2 weeks ago when Daniel Wheeler was on the show, and he said I think he would have chosen Bills to go through, but then later on, I heard somebody saying, "You do not bet against Patrick Mahomes." It's like saying, yeah, but Chiefs, they won that game 32-29, and of course the Eagles and Chiefs, they will advance to the Super Bowl. And that comes up on February 9th. And of course, as I said, we'll be having just a special, it's not a special show, but a special feature-ish next week in our pre-Super Bowl. Yeah, I call it pre-Super Bowl show, right? We'll have show, right? We should at least have two special guests next week speaking on the Super Bowl and what the season has been so far. So, and let's see if I'll be able to get a prediction out of them in terms of who is going to win. Yeah, it's the Eagles versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again and again and again and again and again and again. Yeah. I say that again and again and again. If you know, I believe the Eagles and the Chiefs played against each other last year in the Super Bowl. So we'll see if the Eagles will be able to one up, or if the Kansas City Chiefs will be able to complete the three-peat. Yeah, looking forward to that. We're also looking forward to the hosting. So as I said, you'll hear from the press conference, but this is just a reminder because the press conference will be the last bit of what will happen in the show. You will hear the announcement of the Reggae Boy squad to face Trinidad and Tobago, and those games will come up on February 6th, which is next week, Thursday, and then February 9, which is next week after next, Sunday. Not tomorrow Sunday, but the Sunday following. So we'll hear from Coach Steve McLaren as he announced the team, and we'll hear who's there, who's not. Of course, this will be a heavily based local squad. So yeah, well, we have, I think, Mount Pleasant Cavalier kind of dominating in terms of the team picks. And of course, the Jamaica Premier League schedule will be reshuffled so that they can facilitate the games next week Thursday and next week Sunday. All right, we're gonna take our final break right here on Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
For the best in Sunday morning gospel, nothing beats listening to Sunday Praise on Love 101 FM with me, your host, Durval Gray. You will hear today's favorites, yesterday's classics, and pretty much anything else in between. And there's plenty more besides the music, including Living Well, your Sunday morning health and wellness feature, plus opportunity for you to share your thoughts and send your dedications to family and friends. So get your day and indeed your week off to a great start. Tune in to your family station, Love 101 FM, this and every Sunday morning at 6 for Sunday Praise.
Will that be cash or card?
Card.
You have a supermarket card from Flow too?
Yes. It's just like Flow paying for my groceries.
Sign up for Yard and Road for only $6,300 plus GCT, and you too can get a $10,000 supermarket card. Get Yard and Road, the plan that pays you back. Conditions apply.
That's right, it's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti, every Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. Listen up, children, this is our time, and every day we want you in on the great things we are doing inside the Small People Show. We come to have fun, we come to help you through those rough days. We're educational, inspirational, and the Small People Show with Auntie Vashti is taking over the nation. Every child must know that they are special because God created you special. That's the Small People Show with me, Auntie Vashti. Monday to Friday at 4:30 p.m. It's on the family station, Love 101.
Now, with inspiration now, and every turn you small people.
Come on in. Love in the morning and love 101. So come get inspired with two culture. Love in the morning and love 101. So come get inspired with two culture. Turn the radios up. Make sure. All right. We're going to do a roll call.
The Love Jockey is on duty every Saturday inside Youth Connection. Don't miss the hype. Don't miss the tunes. Don't miss the excitement with your boy, DJ Rebirth. Saturdays at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on the family station, Love 101. At 3 p.m., your DJ runs the gospel rhythm. Hot, hot. Tune in at 4 p.m. for a time where we share a word to grow your mind. GYM, grow your mind. Jim, get it? Grow your mind. And at 4:30 p.m., we share with you how young people are giving all their time and fulfilling their purpose inside Ministry in Action. We get a taste of poetry and spoken word inside Poetry and Praise. And you get to send us a WhatsApp message and request your favorite gospel song inside Gospel Faves at Vibe. All this and more every Saturday at 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. with your love jock, your boy, DJ Rebirth. It's all here on the family station. Love 101.
Youth Connection. Shuboti and them figure he provide everything on vibe people we chat. Shuboti and them figure he alone make we appear when we did chat.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience. Much appreciated. We are joined with the head coach of the Jamaica Senior Men's National Team, Coach Steve McLaren, as we go through and unveil the squad for the upcoming friendly internationals against Trinidad and Tobago. A reminder, that's February 6th and February 9th. February 6th at the Montego Bay Sports Complex in St. James, and of course, February 9 at the Anthony Spalding Sports Complex in Kingston. A reminder to all the media coming in, please put your devices on mute. And secondly, if you are not dressed appropriately, also turn your camera off as well. That will be greatly appreciated. So to commence proceedings, we're going to have a few opening remarks from our head coach, Coach McLaren, and then after that, we'll get right into the squad. So, Coach, good morning. How are you doing?
Okay, ladies, gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to be back in Jamaica. I've been here for about 10 days. Bit of scenery, bit of culture, and lots of football and lots of planning, because since the new year, this is it. This is World Cup year. That's the aim at the end, to make sure we're in it, and a lot of planning before that. I think a great initiative, which started, I think, last year, was to get the local players together, the best players, to have a camp to play an opponent. And I thought that was a great idea. We've assembled that camp. We play Trinidad, big rivals. And in the meantime, I've watched 4 or 5 games. I'll watch 2 more on Sunday, 2 more on Monday. And then we get the squad together for Tuesday, play Trinidad on Thursday, with the second game on Sunday, which I'm looking forward to immensely. One, because I want to work with the local players, and 2, it'd be great to see Dwight York, who's just become manager, head coach of Trinidad. So watching games, and I must say relying a lot on Meron to assemble the players, to give me guidance, which he has done. And through him mainly and other contacts, we have a squad of 28 players, of which 15 are uncapped. And as we say, the rivalry is there. And the aim of the camp, many people ask me, what's the aim of the camp? I say it's very much short term. It's very much geared towards World Cup qualification. So it's geared towards the here and now, with also within the squad 2 or 3 youngsters we need to look at for the future. But basically, what I'm hoping for, like what happened last season at this time when they had 2 games against Trinidad, 3 players emerged from that camp and became regulars in the squad for the Reggae Boys senior national team. And that was great to see. That was Kaheem Dixon, Richard King, and Shaq Juan Davis. So that was good. If I get another 3 coming from this camp to improve our squad, to improve our team, that's what I'm looking for. That's the incentive of all the players coming in, and that's the incentive of everybody involved in this campaign, including the supporters, including everybody, not just on this island, but who is following Jamaica outside the island. Everything is geared towards the World Cup. So 28 players we have, starting with goalkeepers. Shaquan Davis, we know well. Jamali Wade, we know well. Benjamin Williams, I watched him the other day against Mobay. So I was impressed with him. We have a young one, Joshua Grant from New York Red Bulls, 17, who's played for the under-17s, under-20s, and is really coming for experience. Just to have a look at him. The defenders we have, top of the list, Richard King, obviously from Cavalier, 22 caps already, becoming a regular in the squad and needs to push now to be a regular in the team. Giovanni Lang from Cavalier, Christopher Ainsworth from Cavalier, Gadale Irving from Mount Pleasant, Robinho Gordon from Vere, Kyle Ming, Mount Pleasant, Fitzroy Cummins, Mount Pleasant, Stephen Young, Portmore, Sule McKellar, Mount Pleasant, Malik Howell from Las Vegas Lights, centre back 26, one of the best defenders in the USL and one that we want to have a look at. The midfielders, Anglin from Mount Pleasant, Demario Phillips, Morbay United, Romeo Guthrie, Portmore, Dwayne Atkinson, Cavalier, Shamar Watson, Cavalier, Daniel Green, Mount Pleasant Academy, Nathaniel Howe, Chapelton Maroons, with the forwards, Warner Brown, Arnott Gardens, Ronaldo Biggs, Racing, Shanil Thomas, Morbay United, Jalmaro Calvin, Cavalier, Kimoni Bailey, Mount Pleasant, Raheem Edwards, Mount Pleasant, and Kimani Airboyne from Arnott Gardens. So that is the total squad. And as I said, looking forward to meeting them next Tuesday, where we have a camp, everybody together in 2 games.
All right, so that was Coach Steve McLaren announcing the 22 member squad that will take on, well, that will be a part of the squad for the Regular Boys game against Trinidad and Tobago. I'll just go through again just in case you weren't able to hear. Goalkeeper Shaquan Davis, Benjamin Williams, Joshua Grant, and Jamali Waite. Then we have defenders Richard King, Fitzroy Cummings, Gadal Irving, Christopher Ainsworth, Robinho Gordon, Kyle Ming, Stephen Young, Giovanni Leng, Sule McCullough, and Malik Howell in midfield, Jashon Angling, Demario Phillips, Romeo Guthrie, Dwayne Atkins, Shamar Watson, Nathaniel Howe, and Daniel Green. And for the forwards, it will be Warner Brown, Kimani Airborne, Ronaldo Biggs, Shanil Thomas, Raheem Edwards, Kimoni Bailey, and Jamaro Calvin. So yeah, that's the squad. Pretty much Coach McLaren highlighted that there are 15 players who have been called up for the first time for the Reggae Boys. And I think that shows us that he is interested in getting local players a part of our World Cup bid. And of course, this should serve, I think, as encouragement to our local players that if they step up their game enough, or if they continue to be consistent at play, that they will get a look in on the Reggae Boy squad. And I know because there's always a lot of debates why it is that when our national senior team is playing, it's so filled with the non-Jamaica or not the international based players, or the we are always looking to get players who have some sort of Jamaican heritage and not looking to or locally. But one of the things is that I think the Jamaica Premier League on a whole is trying to ensure that these players get seen, and parts of that is when we have tournaments or when we have games like against Trinidad and Tobago where they carry the local base squad, that this is an opportunity for the local base players to shine and to get get a foot into the Reggae Boy squad from there. So we're looking forward to the games. We're looking forward to how the dynamics will work. Of course, most of these players, I think probably 98% of these players, there's probably only 2 players who don't play in the Jamaica Premier League. So these players, they would have been playing each other week in, week out. So it will be interesting to see how it is that they will mesh together. But yeah, that's all the time we have this week. On Sports Talk, we do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. right here on the family station. Catch me next week. Have a good Saturday.